Everyone, happy Tuesday. So I just wanted to jump on and stamp with all of you guys during nap time at 1 o'clock whenever I first put her down because I didn't want to jinx myself, as the last two times I got on she woke up recently after. So in hopes that this nap will be longer than the last, well, I guess technically Friday and then to yesterday. She napped good over the weekend when I wasn't here. But we are stamping today, and again, I'm still going through that tote of cards. So today we are making this card. So it uses the Heartfelt stamp set, which is kind of a Valentine's Day-ish stamp set. But it doesn't have to be, because I actually even have two other samples that I'm just going to use for these. Showered with Love. So this makes a really cute shower card, both bridal or baby, I would say. And then also I have, what's this one? Happy Anniversary. So super, super cute. This is No One Pays Attention card. So it's okay if you make mistakes, because the first person to figure out what this card has as a mistake, I will send you a goodie in the mail. So I will leave this up right here, maybe right here. That's not really super useful. Anyway, I'll hold it up a little bit longer. If you know what the mistake is, let me know in the comments, and I will send you some Happy Mail. So that almost sounds like Happy Meal, like McDonald's Happy Meal. But so 2, 3. This white crinkled seam binding is so staticky, it is ridiculous. I've even sprayed Static Guard on it. 4, 5, and 6. So there should be 6 cards here that we'll be making. Remember, it's always easier to make multiples than it is to come up with different ones. But I even sprayed Static Guard on it, and it's still like... So yeah, it's some crazy staticky ribbon. So how is everyone's day going? We took a walk this morning outside on the trails, so it was nice to get there, although it was a little bit colder than I was hoping it to be. Come on, I just need like 60 plus degree weather and sunshine. I need sunshine. It's like gotten dingier as the day has gone on, and I'm not a fan of that. I need sunlight. But down here in the basement, I'm kind of like, it's sunny outside, I can just pretend. Although it makes me kind of sad whenever I come down here and it actually is sunny out, and I wish I was up there. But when I do computer work, I usually do it at my desk, which is in front of a window upstairs in our bedroom, and that makes me very happy. I watch the squirrels while working. Squirrels are probably one of my favorite cute little animals because they're just so adorable. And they're so crazy. They jump from one tree to the next, and it is nuts. Okay, so we're going to take this little bitty image. Pushed all my clear blocks out of the way, so I got to pull them back over here. I'm working on some super fabulous projects for you guys to hopefully roll out soon. So I'm going to stamp this little image. And look who just woke up. But at least she's not crying, so she might stay in there for a little bit and play around. When she has a good nap, which this one was a good nap, then she wakes up happy and she'll just play around and have fun. But whenever it's a short nap, you know it because she wakes up kind of cranky. So I'm just stamping these all around, just a fun little background. One of the things about making backgrounds is you always want to like make it fall off the edges so it looks like the image is continuous. in which I didn't really do it on that one, but you can also kind of rotate the image around here and there for like a fun like background pattern instead of just making them all, you know, straight up and down. And whenever I do random, it tends to be in a triangle pattern. I don't know, just a triangle pattern, or if you've noticed I've kind of gone like diagonal, but like a lot of times I'll do like one, and then one over here, and then one over there, and then one here, and then one here, and then one there. So like it's like triangles, or diamonds, or however you want to call that. And then I just fill in the randoms. Hi Valerie, welcome. Just stamping and trying to avoid the chaos of social media, I feel like, with everything going on. So we're escaping away into stamping therapy is how I like to see it. So I'm just stamping some extra cards that I had made that were leftovers from a class. And background all over in pool. So there I have all of those stamped. So this is the card that we're making. But I actually can change it to Happy Anniversary or Showered with Love, which would be great for a baby shower or a bridal shower. So next I'm going to adhere all the little pink doilies on there. I really wish I could like put this like right there, because like face up here. But I can't, so unless I hang it from the ceiling or something. So whenever it comes to adhering these doilies, I kind of just like to put adhesive in the center so that it doesn't peek through the holes. One of the things that I did see is people getting stuck with what are they going to make for a meal. And I feel like we're pretty like scheduled out. I'm a good meal planner, I guess. So tonight we are having chicken Alfredo pizza. So let me know what you guys are all having for supper tonight. In a way, I sometimes feel like I need to like ration my food, because who knows, but I think we'll be fine. I can get super creative with food. The one thing is milk. I don't know, we don't have a cow or a goat, and I can't make milk. Bread, I can make bread, so like I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, can't make milk. I mean, I guess technically at one point I did, but that's not right now. Okay, so we're going to take from the Heartfelt stamp set, we're going to take the little like dotted line heart, and this one you want to ink it up with like as always, a gentle tap, tap, tap in the ink. And then when you go to stamp it, you don't want to like super duper push. Again, remember, we aren't doing CPR, we are kissing the cardstock. So a nice even pressure kiss, like no little peck on the cheek, but like going in for a good kiss. But if you press too hard, let me see if I can get it to happen. Yeah, when you press too hard, you kind of lose some of those dots. So see how it's like a dotted line, but see whenever you press too hard, it almost just becomes like a smush. And if you've inked it really, really, really well, then it really becomes a smush. So again, you just want to do a nice little kiss to the cardstock. And then we're going to use the Heart Builder punch, and we're going to punch out our little hearts. Oh, and I totally did not need this many because remember, I have those hearts. That's okay. I can always put my extras in the scrap bin. or there's still a chance that I'm going to mess up one of these and I'm going to need that extra heart. Okay. Might be able to use this scrap piece of white. So we're going to toss it in the scrap bin. Okay, so I'm going to take these two hearts because they're already complete and I want to make sure I'm using them. Look at that. I've already made a mistake on that one, but still used the scrap to make one of the other hearts. There's nothing wrong with that. There's two sides to every piece of cardstock, so use it. It's kind of like ups. Consider it. Thank goodness there's two sides to every piece because then I have two shots to get it right. Okay, so then I'm going to add these little, I used vellum and I cut out the leaf punch here. And so I'm adding, looks like two I did. So I'm adding two of those to the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card and I'm just going to add a little adhesive up here in the corner and a little adhesive down here and press those into the adhesive. And it's okay if they're not like super secure because when we add with the dimensionals, then that'll help secure it as well. So get my dimensionals. Again, you guys all know I'm an overuser of dimensionals. So don't gasp at how many I'm using. Use the edges because no dimensional left behind. I did hear that they were releasing Trolls something something. I don't know, the new Trolls movie early. I didn't care about the Frozen movie. I did not like the first one. I know I might be in a minority there, but like I thought it was horrible. But yeah. I don't know, me and Brad watched it and like it ended and we both kind of looked at each other like, what's the hype about that? And I didn't really like it. And then the fact that the hype just got bigger and bigger and bigger, I did not like it more and more. Maybe I need to watch it again or something. I don't know. Did you like Frozen? Do you like Frozen? Do your kids like it? Are you totally over it because your kids love it? There we go. Super cute. I just need to add the bow on the bottom. So I have my crinkled seam binding and I'm going to make I'm holding the ribbon with my thumb and my pointer finger, and then I'm going around. So now I'm wrapping it around that pointer finger, and I'm using my middle finger and my thumb to hold it around the pointer finger, and then I'm pulling my pointer finger out of the loops. So now I have two loops, and then I'm just going to tie a knot with those two loops. And like, it's kind of a hot mess, and it's definitely not even. So now I'm just going to hold the center and pull and then tighten. And there you have that cute little bow. And then I'm going to use not dimensionals, but mini glue dots. So I'm just going to take a mini glue dot and place it right there on that bottom tip of the heart and press the bow into it. And then trim off the little tails. When trimming off the tails, I always find it best to like hold tight on the ribbon. It just ends up like cutting a lot better and more even rather than kind of like letting the scissors munch it. So there's the first one. Then let's add a little adhesive. I do want to show you, not on this one because I've already done it, but I did want to show you adding these little, I don't know, to me they look like antlers. Like, come on, don't those look like antlers? Like little reindeer antlers. But anyway, I want to show you how you can also add them to the back of your greeting and then what that look is going to be like. So I'll wrap it up on this one. And make my little bow. Hold it in the center as I pull tight. So staticky. You almost want to make sure it's like a little bitty bow so that the static isn't like crawling off of the card to you. And the last mini glue dot on that sheet. That makes me so happy. It's like I used it all up. And you can always press that ribbon down into that mini glue dot to make the ribbon like go down or go across, or you know, like however you want it to be. Okay, here's the other one. Okay, so now I want to show you, I'm going to stick this one on here. I actually need to stamp Happy Anniversary on there. I feel like I'll use more of these as anniversary cards. So itty bitty greetings stamp set. I could also put better or hey friend. Trying to think of what I might need a card for coming up. Sending prayers. Nope, we're just doing happy anniversary and moving on. No need to waste time. I'm trying to figure it out for 20 minutes. It, and then later whenever I'm like, I have 1,000,001 anniversary cards and I don't know why, then you guys can all remind me. 1, 2, 3. She's just playing up there in her crib, kicking the edge of the crib. Okay, so one of the ways that you can do this is you can flip it over to the back side, add a little dab of adhesive on like opposing corners, and then press the little things into it like that, and then just add dimensionals over the top. You could also have just used dimensionals rather than adding that adhesive down there at the bottom. But like the adhesive kind of helps hold it while you're, you know, moving things around and stuff like that. I will say you don't want to put a ton of adhesive, because if you put a ton of adhesive and then you don't put a dimensional over the top of it, then the adhesive can almost like make the image press down and then stick. So then your card is like going like that because it's sticking like that. I did do this on the other corners than I did on the other ones. So the one thing that's different about this one is you'll notice that like your little leaves stand up like a lot stronger, because they're actually like they're like popped up with the hearts. Hey Heather, welcome. Whereas this one, it's like flat. So, like, it's very minimal to be able to see it. But, like, for this one, your, like, little leaves are flat and then only the heart is popped up. Whereas this one, the leaves and the heart are popped up. So, that would be the only difference with that. And then we're just going to make our little bow and then add it to the card front. Found some more mini dimensionals, or I'm sorry, glue dots that has just a few on it. A lot of times I put in my stash like the leftover dimensionals or the leftover mini glue dots that there's only like 3 or 4 on. So I don't want to take those to a class because it's obviously going to run out really quickly. So those are the ones that I always use. So there you go. Super, super cute. And then I just have these last 2 to go. And I have a lot of leaves left over. I don't know why I punched out so many, but I guess I don't want to run out at class, so. They will go in the scrap bin. Okay, so now I just need dimensionals for the backs of my hearts. Here's another half-used dimensional thing that I just need to use up, the trim. So let me know, guys, what are you guys all eating for supper tonight? We're having, like I said, we're having chicken Alfredo pizza, and I'm super excited about it. I can't decide though whether I want to try the new Alfredo sauce that I bought. That's supposed to be like cauliflower Alfredo sauce. So it's supposed to be, you know, like it's lower fat, and I think lower carbs too. So I don't know if I want to use that or whether I want to use my regular Alfredo on a new recipe. Well, actually, chicken Alfredo pizza is not a new recipe for us, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I almost feel like these cards are super cute without the ribbon and that you can hardly even see the ribbon on some of them, but since I've already cut the ribbon, then I'm going to stick with it for these samples. Working, but corned beef and cabbage for lunch. Yeah, am I the only one who forgot that today is St. Patrick's Day? Like, totally got on Facebook this morning, and everybody's like, Happy St. Patrick's Day, and I'm like, oh, is that today? Oops. Brad would love corned beef and cabbage. That's one of those meals that I would say I don't like it, but I've never tried it. He likes the corned beef that comes out of the can, and to me that looks like meatloaf, and it kind of looks gross. And I'm not a huge fan of meatloaf, So I'm kind of on that. But yeah, I was like, you're more than welcome to like get it from somewhere. Drive up, obviously. But yeah, he was like, no, I like it out of the can. So yeah. But yeah, I totally forgot. I actually guess I kind of thought that it was over the weekend, because like so many places, celebrate on the weekend before St. Patrick's Day. And so I guess I just assumed that it was one of the days over the weekend and that it was over. I think there's a little bit of Irish in me. Kiss me, I'm Irish. I probably would be the crazy one to kiss you. Not like this year, but maybe one of the other years. Okay, I don't know why there's all of these. Oh, look, I found more mini glue dots. Has work been crazy, Heather? That would be like the worst place I would ever want to go right now. So I'm sorry that you have to be there, but I'm sure you're used to it too. Okay, so these can all be put away, as well as these, and then these are all going in the scrap bag. So staticky. Actually, these I'm not going to put in the scrap bag, so I'll put those back. These are going in the scrap. So if you want a scrap bag, then these are going to be in it. Okay. Next card. So this one is kind of an intricate, detailed card that I did a lot of die cutting, ever changing, I can only imagine. But look at that. That uses the painted poppies. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm going to set it, see if I can set it like right there. That still doesn't really work now, does it? So maybe like right there. So some of these have been like kind of made, and some of them have not been made, and some of them have been die cut, some of them have not. So it's kind of like a mess. But I'm not die cutting anymore because these were kind of fun to die cut. So yeah, I'm just going to make as many as I possibly can out of what I have, and then the rest are going, thank you, I'm glad you like it. Then the rest are going away. So it's actually really simple because it's just like layered pieces. And this one, the other awesome thing about it is you can rearrange your flowers to be anywhere you want, and then have any size of greeting that you want. So if you happen to have a big greeting, then you could put it there. If you happen to have a small greeting, just fill in with more flowers. So it's super easy to be able to kind of work with whatever greeting option you need for your project. So I don't need any more anniversary, as we just made a whole bunch of those. To be honest, I think I need some more like thinking of you cards. I don't know about any of you guys, but like it seems like whenever someone passes or something and I need a sympathy card, then I need like 500 sympathy cards because I usually send them to everyone in the family. So, like for example, my aunt's father passed away, and so I sent one to her and her husband, my aunt and uncle, and I also sent one to both of her kids because it was their grandpa, and they are my cousins. So there's 3 sympathy cards that like went out the door all at the same time. So it really eats up my stamp supply really fast whenever that sort of thing happens. So yeah, I find that like I go through them quite quickly. So one of the other things that I really like to use for thinking of you, or I like to use thinking of you, because it works for get well and it works for sympathy. And then I don't have to have one or the other. So this one's super cute, thinking of you with all my heart. I just think that's a very sweet greeting that, like I said, it can be used for both occasions. And then I don't have to say, oh, I'm out of sympathy cards, but I have 1,000,001 get well, or, you know, vice versa. Okay. And I think I have, yep, I have some flowers ready to go. I've already glued them. And the other thing about these fabulous leaves that were die cut too is you can also chop them up and have, you know, like multiple leaves rather than like hiding, like, you know, if you only have like enough room for like this, then like why are you hiding that whole second set of leaves? So like I'm just going to chop off right there so that my leaf doesn't get wasted. Okay, so these are actually mini dimensionals, so I'm not going to use the rest of those. And here's another little half of piece. Also, just so y'all don't think that I'm like ignoring my child, she is still playing in the crib, but Brad also just got home from work, so he's up there now to take care of her. He's been going into the office for a few hours to get some done, and then I think he said he's staying home tomorrow, maybe, and working from home. But it's just him and one coworker, and let me tell you, they're not close. Not that they're not close, but they're like in separate offices, and they just like yell at each other back and forth. So like they're not really like close quarters or anything. Welcome, Beth. How is homeschooling going as a teacher and a parent? I'm sure it's crazy. Okay, so then I think I'm going to take this leaf, and I don't really like the way it looks down there in the middle, so I'm just going to make sure that my flower kind of like covers that, and it just looks like two leaves coming out. Okay, so putting a little adhesive down. Oh, put too much adhesive down. And then dimensionalizing the rest of the flower. I really like dimensionals. You guys are probably all laughing like, oh, really? We didn't know. Texture and dimension to the card instead of making it just be like flat paper, because, you know, that's boring. And I feel like when it like jumps out of the page on you, then it makes it seem more real and alive. And I'm actually going to stop there on the leaves because I don't want to have to die cut out 1,000,000 more. Just being honest, because this one used a ton. So I'm just going to fill in with more sequins, perhaps. Which greeting, sending healing hugs. See, these will be like my sympathy cards then. Although I need to put those in a different pile so that I remember to add the, oh, I need to add the piece on the inside. So I remember to add the sequins. Little inside panel so that I can write. Voila! This one, yeah, that one has the inside panel. Normally I always say to like, you know, assemble last, but I'm going to go ahead and assemble this one and just risk it because I want it to be flat. And the other thing is I can always use dental floss to get it off. And I'm not stamping, I'm just adhering on. But I just kind of need to lower the amount of stuff here in front of me so I know how many I have left to make. Because it looks like I have a ton of flowers, but not a lot of greenery. So this one's glued down, but it still needs its black centers. Like, look at all of these pieces. It's crazy. Here's some greenery. Here's some greenery. Oh, here's all my greenery. Here's another flower, but it's missing its little black center. The little black center of that flower looks like a crown. Here. Isn't that adorable? I feel like I need to do like a little girl's like princess card because I so think it looks like a crown. So I'm just going to use the fine tip glue pen to adhere these little black centers. And you just need to use a little dab of adhesive. And then I like to hold and press for like a good 5 to 10 seconds just so that it gives the adhesive a nice strong hold before, you know, moving around and jostling it around. I feel like a lot of stampers tend to like put it on there and then try to knock it off to see if it's actually stuck. But since it's a liquid glue, it takes a little bit longer to like officially secure and seal. So you want to wait and let it dry before you start to see if it's officially stuck or not. Or otherwise you're just going to end up like adding more glue and making a like wet, sticky mess. And again, like I feel like pressing it together really helps give it that like strong, like, you know, like if you touch something sticky, like it's not that sticky. But like if you really push your finger into something sticky, you're probably going to be stuck. So like that's kind of the concept with that. I hope that makes sense. So I cut off that top one and I'm just adding a dab of adhesive, and then I'm going to use dimensionals. And really these flowers can be like angled in any direction you please. So that kind of makes it a little bit more versatile and a little bit more like just like making it fit in the angle or like the look that you're going for, or around a greeting or something like that. I hope you guys are all getting inspired, or at least feeling a little get away from the chaos. Okay, so I feel like this one totally needs more leaves. I think I'm gonna stick this one down in the bottom corner. Or maybe up top here. Maybe I'm going to cut it apart. So I'm actually going to stick a little dimensional on the back of it like that, pull the other one off, and then I'm going to stick it up underneath. Beth and Casey, you missed it earlier. What are you guys having for supper tonight? we're having chicken Alfredo pizza. So there's two different ways to adhere these. I am taking the lazy route. That's quicker. And I'm just adding adhesive to that center part of the flower. So technically, like, all of the edges are like, you know, popping up, adding texture to the card. Or you can add the fine tip glue pen and like seal down everything. It's personal preference, or whatever product you prefer. Like, if you don't like the fine tip glue pen, then you don't have to use it. I am using the fine tip glue pen though for these little black centers because they're little black centers. And I'm afraid if I tried to do adhesive, we would have a big mess. So just a little bit of adhesive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ta-da! One, two, three, four, 5. Ta-da! And then I'm adding my little crown. The other thing is I don't like to do like multiples with the fine tip glue pen because like I have this like rush to hurry up and do it so that I can put the cap back on the pen because I don't want it to get clogged. Or I also don't want to keep putting the cap back on all the time, so I'm kind of like, okay, pick one. You're either going to risk it, that it's going to clog because you left it out too long, or you're going to wing it and do it a different way. So, not going to lie, my philosophy is usually the wing it. I feel super comfortable with cardstock and winging it because I'm like, oh, I have more cardstock. It's no big deal. Or there's 2 sides to every piece of paper, or like, you know, that whole thing. But I tend to not do very well with fabric. Like, people are like, oh, you're crafty, you can sew. Yes, I can sew. But no, I'm not good at it because there's no winging fabric. Like, you kind of got to get it on the first time. And you know, like cardstock, you can embellish to fix your mistakes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a good enough sewer to be able to embellish and fix my mistakes. Got to work on that, apparently. But then I'm also like, well, one crazy hobby is good enough for me, so I'll leave the sewing to my mom. So that's how I did this one. And this one looks like a weed. So I'm going to have to add in something else because that just looks awkward. So I'm just going to add in a little bit more. I think I'm going to try that dimensional trick again, where I put the dimensional like on half of it and then peel off the back and then slide it up in there. There we go. That kind of added a little bit more. And I think once I add the rhinestones to it, or like the sequins, it'll help kind of fill in some of that extra space So it will all be good. Okay, I think I'm going to do one more of this one, and then I'm going to call it a day on this card because, I don't know, it's a pain. I know I usually say that I'm not a huge fan of coloring, but I think like gluing and piecing is also up there on the list. I think I'd rather color than glue and piece. Plus, I also sometimes get bored with making multiples because I'm ready to like stamp something different, use different colors. Whenever I'm making multiples, like because I really need to, like invitations or thank you notes or something like that, then I tend to like, I'll do like all the cutting of the card bases, and then I'll start folding the card bases, and then halfway through folding I get tired of doing that, so I go back and I cut another layer, and then whenever I get tired of that, then I go back to folding some card bases, and then I go through and I make like one complete card because I'm tired of doing the other things, and then like so it just kind of becomes like each step I just do at varying degrees. One step I might like the whole thing, so I'll do all of them, and it's kind of all over the place, but I get bored doing the same thing. Which is why I get on here and talk to you guys while stamping. Then I don't have to feel so lonely. One, two, three, four, five. Good. And I think that card is going to use up the last of my leaves. So I'm calling it a day on the leaves. So as a reminder, I do plan on trying to get on every day at some point. I want to say usually the afternoon, but you just never know what's going to happen. But just to kind of keep a connection with you guys and check in on you all and everything like that. Of course, know that you can always get out some Stampin' supplies and stamp with me. Or you can always share what you're working on with me. I would love to see what you're working on. I'm pretty sure you should be able to post and share, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So if you can't and would like to, then let me know, and I will figure out how you can do that. And of course, if there's anything that you need, Stampin' Up! Is still working. They're working like on 2 different shifts with a cleaning period in between, and they're still trying to get things out as fast as possible to everyone during this crazy time. So know that you can still get your Stampin' supplies. And that's the last one. All the rest of these pieces are going in the scrap bin. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Try not to panic. Try not to worry too much. I know that's the pot calling the kettle black. And it's hard to really honestly say that during this time, but we all need to stick together. If there's anything that you guys need and I can help out with, then let me know. I'm happy to help, and we'll get through this because together we're all stronger. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye.